Hi, this is Jason Cascarino. Thanks for listening to the Lessons in Adolescence podcast, a production of Remaking Middle School, an initiative that seeks to transform the learning and development experience for young adolescents in the middle school years. Remaking Middle School brings together good educational practice in school and out of school with the latest developmental science. In the Lessons in Adolescence podcast, we feature conversations with researchers, practitioners, program developers, and advocates. Drawing content from our past 2 seasons of episodes, we are offering a series of mini lessons on important topics relating to positive early adolescent development and effective middle-level education. This mini lesson is about career exploration. Welcome to Remaking Middle School, an initiative that seeks to transform the learning and development experience of young adolescents in the middle school years. Remaking Middle School brings together good educational practice in school and out of school with the latest developmental science.
ASA did a considerable amount of research on where to really focus career exploration, and there's a considerable amount of research on middle school as being the best time for career exploration. A lot of that is available in the AMLE ASA Digital Resource Center. Through this research, we learned that engagement sharply declines for middle school students, and that middle school students are actually most receptive to a career development intervention. Career exploration has also been shown to increase student confidence, academic success, and decision-making. ASA also did a whole lot of surveys out to middle schoolers and college students. And many college students wish they learned about options earlier in their education career. And majority of middle school students we asked feel a lot of stress when it comes to careers and about learning about careers. So thinking about a 6th, 7th grader feeling that stress, that's a lot. And they're really interested in learning about how their own interests and skills really align to careers.
That was Ashley Hemmy, the manager of program engagement at Boston-based American Student Assistance, a 60-year-old national nonprofit and student loan guarantor organization. ASA's mission is to develop and invest in resources and tools to help students as early as middle school explore their long-term career and educational goals. Ashley's research has shown that middle school is the best time to introduce career exploration programs. Her work encourages educators to incorporate the practice into their teaching. A good example of this is the Citizen Schools program.
Within Citizen Schools, as to why middle school is that age range to kind of really focus a lot of our energy on, it is because it's that make or break point. If a student really just stops getting excited about coming to school, they're not even making it to high school. By high school, they're dropping out. So what we wanted to focus on is how do you excite students and get them to understand what are the things within education that really connects to them and really pushes them forward. But in the same vein, we also want to make sure our educators understand how to excite our young people in these ways. So if a student gets excited about working in a law firm or really working with a lawyer from a law firm, if a student is learning that, can that be an opportunity where they are moving into high school and wanting to take journalism and wanting to understand debate and do a lot more in different spaces and hopefully go to law school at the end of the day, or go into a field in which they learned or something that was ignited within middle schools.
Nadia Selby is Vice President of Programs at Citizen Schools, a 25-year-old Boston-based nonprofit that offers experiential learning opportunities for youth. Through out-of-school time programming, in-school professional development, and community partnerships, Citizen Schools aims to help students identify their passions and inspire them to pursue their career interests. Nadia shares how the key to this experience is curating real-world experiences and interactions for students in the learning space.
It's like when you get a chance to kind of see some of what you may be interested in, but not quite sure, but you're seeing adults and other folks, professionals from the community come in and talk specifically around how they do this level work. And granted, you might not necessarily go into that angle, but it opens your eye that there's more than just the traditional way. You could be interested in metabolism. Metabolism is one of our projects for our educator development program. And you could be interested in metabolism, but metabolism is the project that you have. We bring you a nutritionist, we bring you a nurse. Like they're two different fields, two different areas or ways that you could engage within material. Some of the topics connect to our students. Some of our volunteers and where they come from connect to our students.
When introducing new fields and career opportunities to youth, it is important as teachers, administrators, and families to hold our students in the highest regard. The confidence we have in their ability to succeed can have a big impact on their personal outlook on their own future. Daquan Oliver is the founder and CEO of WeThrive, an organization that prioritizes entrepreneurship education and seeks to reframe how we even talk about and view youth, not as under-resourced, but rather underestimated.
We begin WeThrive, right, through this question of what are ways in which we enable youth coming from underestimated communities to win in tomorrow's socioeconomic climate. One of the key things for us was instead saying everyone can, and here's the difference, right? Instead of going into a classroom and saying, hey, everyone here gets to create a business, asterisk, only those who have the best business plan, who have the best business pitch, that one person in this classroom of 30, let's say, gets to create it. You know what just happened? You just lost your C and D students, maybe even your A students who don't feel entrepreneurial. Because what are they hearing day in and day out? How they're not as good as student X, student Y, student Z. Instead, what we do is we come in and we say, hey, everyone here gets to solve that problem, see it into action, and that happens when you get here, right? And we draw a line in the sand. We say you cross this line, that means you're getting seed funding, and this is important, just like these other youth we can now point to, seeing it to believe it, will also create this particular piece. And then getting very intentional in the entire delivery of that. And so I think that's one of the most important parts of the genesis of WeThrive is really the questions we were asking ourselves and how we got to the solution. The question we were asking ourselves was nothing to do with using entrepreneurship per se, but it was everything about how do we restore that same feeling of power and liberty, and how do we also make sure that even deeper than feeling, like that they possess that they then begin to practice that autonomy, practice grit, confidence, right? As we all know, those are skills, and like any skill, if we don't practice it, it will not grow and develop and never be mastered. This ended up being a particular solution.
WeThrive encourages middle schoolers to look at the problems plaguing our world today and think up modern, effective solutions using their budding entrepreneurial skills. By giving each student a fair chance at building a real business, the program helps young people develop their drive, ambition, skills, and early social capital, as well as seize new opportunities to learn and grow in today's society.
We have templates in there, etc. And so it's very experiential. And of course, we then train our volunteers who expect that and help with that alongside. These are first-time entrepreneurs and also first-time careerists, right? I mean, we might be, this sounds all high level, but we might be talking about a 12-year-old here. And so there's a lot to be learned. And so that in itself is hilarious because I think the younger you go, they literally are the same thing as first-time entrepreneurs. And they do all the same things. They're thinking all the same questions. They feel all the same excitement, but just a 12-year-old version of us, right? And so when we get our first products that we ordered, we're excited, but they're jumping around like crazy. Even if they fail after they launch, that's all positively part of the experience. That's of course part of a career journey for anyone. And so those are the kinds of things that we're able to practice, but only if they're able to successfully launch that.
In addition to encouraging middle schoolers to explore different career options, it is increasingly important to introduce the multitude of ways they can go about pursuing their professional goals. Julie Lammers is Senior Vice President of Advocacy and Corporate Social Responsibility for American Student Assistance. In her recent work, Julie is searching for new ways to inspire young people to seek out new and evolving post-secondary education opportunities.
But there is also an opportunity here for increasing equity and access to post-secondary education. And we're not saying we don't want kids to go to college. We just want to say that there's a variety of ways of obtaining that post-secondary education degree that might not be linear, right? And that's what we need to be more accepting of. It could be a 2 to a 4 year degree. It could be getting credits while you're in high school and getting an associate's degree and then going to work and then maybe a 4-year degree. This idea that we have to go straight from high school to college, I think, is the one that we're trying to figure out how do we sort of upend that conversation. But I think there is increasingly openness and understanding that it has to be more than just colleges, right? So how do you increase access to a diversity of pathways? What does that diversity of pathways look like? And how do you frame it in a way that doesn't seem like it's an alternative? Because alternative obviously has serious negative connotations. Because there is a sort of a changing dynamic between what students are looking for. There's changes in higher education about what they're providing. There's changes in the employer system of what they need from employers or employees. And it's not all satisfied with a 4-year degree. So if we are still saying that that is what we define as success, it's problematic for all of our systems.
Recognizing and educating our youth on the wide variety of post-secondary education options, while also encouraging them to pursue their passions and talents, are among the best practices of the career exploration process. Here again is Ashley Hemmy, summing up the significance of this process for middle school students.
It's empowering for middle schoolers because career exploration really gives them the opportunity to ask why and to challenge what's going on in the world right now. I think, if anything, now that we're going into a 3rd year of the pandemic, career exploration has been shown to be even more important because students are able to see and understand like what's going on in the world right now as far as public health, the Great Resignation, virtual learning, and think, are there solutions to that? Or how would I have tackled that? How could I tackle that in the future? And it gives them ownership and empowers them to create change in the world.
For more resources on career exploration and early adolescence, check out the content available on the Remaking Middle School website at remakingmiddleschool.org.